Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me for day 4 of our BoardMaker 7 series. Today, we're going to bring you through a few different areas in relation to the interactive materials. So we'll bring you through how to create an interactive activity, how to create resources from those templates, and also how to do edit activities to go as well. What I'll do, without further ado, I will get started. So I'll just share my screen of BoardMaker there now. So yesterday, as I mentioned, we were going through a few details about, I suppose, creating the printable boards. Today is the interactive boards. So I'll show you that there now. So when we open up the BoardMaker 7 editor, again, much like yesterday, again, we have this option again where we can select new, open or community. So today, again, we're going to use the new section. So when I select the new section, again, here we have our options. Here we have our blank, we have our recently used, printable, interactive and favorites. So yesterday, we were mostly worked out of the printable section. But what I'm going to show you here now is the interactive section itself. So again, in the interactive section, when I click into this, there's a few different categories again here we have. So we have, for example, books and presentations, classroom routines, flashcards, games, and so on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a few of those different areas with you as well, okay? Before I do that, though, I just want to actually draw your attention to another question that came up yesterday as well, because what I was showing you yesterday in relation to creating your printable activities is I was showing you how to symbol search, basically. So I'm just going to create a blank activity, just a standard printable one, and I'm going to quickly show you. So if I create just one button just here, for example, I just want to show you that to the right-hand side of my screen, you have your properties and your symbols, and you can add your symbol from that area where we have add symbol. We can add it there, or we can click on symbols and do a symbol search this way. But there is another way of doing it as well. So there was, I suppose, we were caught for time yesterday, so I just want to bring your attention to this one as well. So if I was to select the button that I want to edit, so for example, this one, I just press on that button, and what I can do is I can basically type in straight away what I want to search for, press the return key on my keyboard, and then straight away I'm into my symbol search. So I can select my symbol, and just like that, it's a quicker way of finding your symbol as well. So you have that option as well, okay? So that is the edit in action symbol search that I wanted to show you. So I'm just going to jump back there now to my dashboard, and I'm going to show you the interactive ones again. So back to the interactive section again. So as I mentioned, you do have your different categories. So what I want to show you is, I suppose, how to edit those interactive activities that you do have here. You can start from, I suppose, beginning of, creating your own interactive activities as well. But in relation to that, I suppose, creating them today, that we could be doing that for an hour, I suppose, creating different types of ones. So that's kind of another minefield of it. It takes a lot of work to kind of create those. So I don't want to kind of go into those today because we don't have the time. So I'm just going to show you in relation to how to, I suppose, do those templates. So first of all, I'm going to show you books and presentations. So if you're creating your own book, basically, from this template, I have saved the third one in as a favorite of mine. So I'm going to use that one here. And when I press create, you'll see that you actually have all the pages of your book. So depending on how many pages you want to add in, you can add in more as well if you want. And you can do that very simply by looking to the left-hand side, and on each page you have the 3 lines, or the 3 dots on the top right-hand side of each page. So I can select that, and I can add a duplicate page, I can delete that page, or I can edit the variables within the page as well. So you'll see here now the first page is your title. So say, for example, if I give this a title, I'm just going to use Tiger, for example, okay? So then what I can do, again, using that edit in action, I can select that button and I can just type in tiger. Then I can press my return key, and it's going to give me an image of a tiger. So I'm just going to use the first image there now that we have. Okay, so we have our image there now. So what I can do then is I can move on to my next page, okay? And say, for example, if we're modeling the word want, I can use the word want around the tiger. So again, I'm going to put in my text here. So I'm going to say the tiger wants to eat. Okay, so the tiger to eat. Okay, and again, I go to my symbol area and I can type in tiger again and press return. And again, I can select another image. Now, in particular here now, you might see that, you might not get the specific ones of a tiger eating, a tiger sleeping, and so on and so forth. So what I could do in this case is, say, for example, I can get the tiger that's sitting down here and press select, okay? Then what I can do is I can go over to the right-hand side where I have my symbol search, and I can search another one. So say, for example, I'll just search for sleep. Okay, so there is one here that I can add. I'll just have a look. Yeah, so we have it here. It's the go to sleep one. So what I can do now is I can click and I can drag that into the same area. And now it's telling me, do I want to replace or do I want to add to? So I can say I want to add to. So now what I can do is I have my symbols, my 2 symbols within here. So I can just select that one and drag that down, make that one bigger again. then grab this one, and maybe I want to have that on the right hand side. Okay, so that's perfect. I'll actually change that to sleep because I was working on that. Sleep. Okay, then what I can do is I can go on to the next page, and then again I can do it again. So I can type in tiger, press return, and we'll say he's standing up, so he's looking for food. So this time he wants to eat. Okay. Eat. So all the while now, I'm just creating these kind of symbols and text within the book, but it's an interactive template. So what you'll see now is when I actually go and press play, just load up there now for me. So we have our book. Okay, so from here now, we can either read the book ourselves, or we can use the interactive read page button up the top left. So if I press that, for example, now,
tiger.
Moira, the voice there now, is going to speak tiger.
Tiger.
Okay, so I can go to the next page, and then again I can read page.
The tiger wants to sleep.
Okay, and during the book as well, what you can do is there's a little button down the bottom here as well that says talk about. So maybe we want to talk about that specific page or talk about the book in general. We can select that, and this gives us an extra option then as well. So we can have, oh, read to me.
Read it to me.
Or we can have,
turn the page.
Or we can even say, I like this book.
I like this book. This is funny.
So it's really interactive as well that you have that particular button as well. So that is the books side of things, your interactive books. I'm just going to jump back to the dashboard again. If I select new again, and if I go to interactive, what I want to show you next is the classroom routines. Okay, so classroom routines are very good as well. And them being interactive boards as well, if you have the BoardMaker subscription, you have the access to the BoardMaker Student Center, you can either do this yourself on your own BoardMaker, and, you know, for example, if it's a class rota and you're seeing who's in today, you can basically do it yourself, or even you can give the job to some student in your class who has the Student Center app, and they could do it, for example. So what I can do here is I can type in, say, for example, the students' names. So I look for Connor. Okay, so instead maybe Connor, we'll use Connor McGregor's image, okay? And for myself then, I'll type in Michael. And maybe we want to use Michael D. Higgins, okay? So we can use that. And again, what I can do here is type in Ishita. Again, select that. And see, she's name might not pop up, so we can say a woman. Okay, and then we can say, we can use this one, okay? She's outside the sun. And then one more here, I can use maybe Tina. Okay. So I can say again, woman. We have Tina. Okay, perfect. So now I have that done. What I can do now is I can play that interactive activity. So pressing play. So now what I can do is I can say, okay, Connor is in today.
Connor is here.
Again, Michael is here.
Michael is here. Aisha is here.
Okay, and then
Tina is not here.
Okay, so you can see how you can actually make that into an activity in the classroom as well, you know, kind of thing. Oh, who's in school today? Who's in the classroom? And so on and so forth. So I can press stop on that and return back to the dashboard. So next up, I'm going to show you another category. So we go back into the interactive section, and under the classroom routines, for example, we've got games. So for example, in games, I can go into tic-tac-toe. And again, if you want to play noughts and crosses with someone, straight away, this template is already made. So I can just jump into play, and you'll see how interactive it is.
It's your turn.
So player one, it's your turn. So I can very simply just select where I want to put my X. So here.
Player two, it's your turn.
So it's now player two's turn. So 0.
Player one, it's your turn.
Again.
Player two, it's your turn. Player one, it's your turn.
And then when we get to player one, and you'll see that player one has won.
Is player one.
Okay, so that is the games. There is other ones as well. I'll just jump back there now again. Interactive. Okay, so we're back to games again. So yeah, you'll see there's kind of word search, and there's identical pairs, there's bingo, and so on as well. So there's a few different games there as well, but obviously again, you can create your own from scratch as well if you want to. So next up, I want to show you matching. So under matching as well, you see there's different kind of matching games as well, for example. So here we have, for example, I'll go into this matching one. We can press create, and you'll see here now you have your template for your matching. So say, for example, if you're doing animals, what I can do is I can type in sheep. Okay, select my sheep, press select. Then I type in over here on this side, sheep. And here I'll say dog. Select that. Search for my symbol and press select, again, typing in dog. Next one, I'm going to say cat. Again, we select our cat symbol, press select, and then cat. Okay, so now what I can do is I can actually go in and I can play that activity. And you'll see what happens here now is that actually the shuffle. Now, I didn't actually delete those words because obviously we're cut for time, but we can delete those words under the actual animals as well. And what I'll do then is I press sheep.
Sheep.
And then I need to match it up with this one.
Sheep.
Okay.
That's right.
And then again, obviously, if I didn't have the text, the label underneath the images, it wouldn't actually speak the word then as well. So I'll actually show you that quickly there.
Dog.
Okay, so if I press stop, and if I just go back to my activity, so I'll just delete the text. Okay. Play. Okay, so again, we have a sheep. So it's not saying it this time.
Sheep. That's right.
And again, we go for dog.
Dog.
Okay, so then you get the gist of that. Basically, you can kind of do those matching games again. So just returning back to dashboard. If I jump back again, we have new and we go to interactive again. So showed you games. So you also have things like, say, for example, matching, as I showed you there. We also have math as well. So you can actually use math. You can do counting pages. You can also do graphs. You can do money patterns and things like that as well. And also sequencing. So say, for example, if you're doing a sequencing of maybe, you're going to a restaurant and what is the sequencing? So what I can do again is I can create that sequencing board. So again, I select that. And what I need to do is put in my pictures. So in this case, I'm going to say for a restaurant, you sit down. Okay, then what we do is we order our food. Okay, so maybe we use this one with the menu. And then lastly, we eat. Okay. Okay, so select that one and press select. Okay, so again, now I'm going to press play just to make that interactive. And you'll see here now, okay, what is the first one? The first one we have to pull and drag. So we drag it down.
That's right. Sit down is the first item.
So say, for example, I put the wrong one in.
No, eat is the third item.
Okay, so I can put the new one in, the proper one.
That's right. Order food is the second item.
And then finally put the correct one in.
That's right. Eat is the third item.
Perfect. So you'll see all the while I'm showing you these interactive activities, and what you'll see is that BoardMaker previously would have been, I suppose, your printable boards. You would have had just basically that software where you can create your boards and print it. Whereas now this is becoming more interactive. So whether you have an iPad or whether a Windows device, you have access to this software, and you can then basically use that, either the BoardMaker Student Center or BoardMaker itself editor, to create those activities and play with those activities then. And the fantastic thing about it as well is that it's not just touch. You can use it with eye gaze as well, and you can use it with switch as well. So it is actually, the access methods, there's a lot of different ones you can use for that as well. So I'm just going to jump back now again and select another one. So if I go to interactive, just scrolling down again, so we had there the sequencing. Also, you've got things like sorting as well. So if I jump into sorting, for example, you can do different kind of sorting activities. So say, for example, if I jump into the first one, maybe we want to sort different animals, and we want to kind of, say these are, put the animals into this particular area. So in this particular case, I'm just going to call it group 1 animals. Okay. And then what I need to do is I need to put the correct ones into the box up here. So I'm just going to say again, cat. Okay, so we select our symbol again, and then we go for dog. Okay, and press select. And then what I'll do is just down below, then I'll just put things that aren't animals basically. So I'm just going to say earth. First one, and we'll just say computer. Okay, so you have your symbol here then again. And there's a little bit of editing down the bottom as well. So, depending on what your activity is. So place the items that, blank into the bin. So place the items that are animals into the bin, for example. We'll say into the box instead in this case. Okay, and when I go to press play and use that activity, you'll see they're all down the bottom. And now what I need to do is I need to put them in. So say, for example, I put in computer.
No, computer does not belong in animals.
So she won't let me put it in, so I can put in cat.
That's right. Cat belongs in animals.
And then finally I can put in dog.
That's right. Dog belongs in animals.
So now we have completed that, so we can press next
You reach
and
the
you
end
reach
of
the
this
end.
activity.
Okay. So jumping back again, just returning to dashboard. And if I go back to interactive activities, I'll just scroll down. So yeah, so that was the sorting. So you've also got things as well like visual scenes, for example. So you can create visual scenes and visual schedules as well within this as well. So that's kind of, I suppose, your editing of your templates of the interactive boards. So what I want to show you as well, which was that question that had cropped up as well about the activities to go. So with the activities to go, they're in the curriculum and they're on the actual board maker itself. So on my board maker, you can actually access them and download them onto your my board maker. So if I select then, once they're downloaded onto my board maker onto the editor, if I select my board maker on the left hand side, you'll see here now you've got the different folders up the top. So it's under my curriculum. So if I select my curriculum, you have the different sections here. So what I can select here in this case is, for example, life skills. Okay. And then what I can do is I can go into feelings and then I select the folder. So whether the person is working on level A, level B, and level C, which we had covered, you can then basically click on that and you can download those particular ones. Okay. So here we are in level C, and I'm going to go into the first one, which is the activity schedule. And from here, I can play that one or I can press edit. So in this case, I'm going to show you how to edit that activity to go. So I'll press the edit. And then you have your activity basically here. So what we can do here then is we can start editing this particular one. So again, you know, depending on what your schedule is, you can change around the text here. So you can change your text. So we can say, oh, apologies, didn't mean to delete that. Click in and read her text. Okay, so maybe your schedule, first of all, is sit down in classroom. So again, I'm putting in my text. And here then I select my action if I want. If there is actions, basically the actions are in relation to making it interactive and such. So you can change all that around then as well. And you can obviously, you know, change the boxes. So whether schedule, if that's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and so on, so forth, you can change all that around as well. So that is your activities to go. In relation to the voices as well, I just wanted to, I suppose, make people aware as well. It kind of doesn't fit in with the, I suppose, interactive boards and talk about that. But what I did want to cover as well, is because it wasn't covered so far this week, is the voices on the software. So the software itself, you'll see it has downloaded automatically. It downloads the one male voice and one female voice. So if I go into user settings, okay, you've got text to speak and you've got the voices here. So originally we've got the Microsoft Dave and the Microsoft Zyra, okay? But what we can do is we can actually add additional voices here. So you'll see here, if I click on add additional voices, you have a lot of different voices here. So English, Moira, that's the one I only downloaded this morning. And that is the Irish voice. That's the only Irish voice available at the moment. You've got the Arabic voices, you've got Bulgarian and so on. You've got loads of different country voices basically that you can use there. You just click on download. If you want to listen to them first, you can. And once you download them, then they just pop up into the list here. So for example, we can select that then. And you can also do things like the voice rate. You can speed her up or slow her down as well. Okay, so that is that.